Computer log, stardate 4444. We live in the future, where space travel is relatively affordable and a computer will make you hot tea. Hello, this is a video about Stellaris, a grand 4X game of stepping out into the cosmos for the first time, discovering that you're not alone, and then having a ruddy, massive micromanagement adventure. So this was just going to be a video about why Stellaris was bloody great, because it is bloody great. But while I was making this video, a couple of things happened and sort of changed how I felt about the game, left my thoughts feeling fractured. So this is two videos existing at once. A car crash of unresolved thoughts in an ongoing struggle. Beam me the fuck out of here, probably. So I guess to begin with, let's just go back to the video as it was, and then we'll change lanes when necessary. Micromanagement adventure. But first, it's time for us to boldly go to places where we'll probably go over there, I think. The early days in Stellaris are opaque and fiddly, but also totally rad. You've got science ships discovering anomalies, Captain, and new alien life, building your race's first ever off-world colony. It's initially quite writing heavy, and the writing is cool, but a lot of stuff is still light touch enough to leave space to inject your own imagination. You find the heavily guarded ancient ring worlds that no one dares approach, or pre-industrial civilizations that you simply observe as wars wage across the galaxies around them, mysterious fireworks spattering their skies. Stellaris is a wonderful game of options, but it's why you choose that matters the most. Another species is surrendered to your armies. Do you merge them into your society, keep them as thralls, or grant them independence as vassals to your empire? Because sure, you still got the pleasant simplicity of FTL-style events. Read a thing, choose an option and see an immediate consequence, but you've also got a ton of minor decisions in Stellaris that end up dramatically shaping your story. Why are you going to war with that species? And if you win, what do you actually want? Is the addition of their borders a boon or a liability? And my favourite thing about Stellaris is that every race has implicit values. It does wonders for getting into the role. If you want to change the policies that hold your empire together, you can do that, but you can expect your people to get pretty bloody angry. Splinter groups form at the edges of your empire, causing trouble unless you respond to their demands or chuck a bunch of money at propaganda. Some races explicitly just won't ever declare war, whereas others will flump around like miserable marshmallows whenever you're not actively involved in interstellar conflict. And the game also has an interesting approach to politics in that alliances actually matter. If someone goes to war with your ally, then they're at war with your alliance. And that means getting an okay from your allies when adding any new ones into the mix, or when you want to declare war on someone. Galactic partnerships in this game provide safety, but quite reasonably they also mean less control over what you can and can't do. And playing nice here is an option. You can build embassies and develop trade and form your own galactic federations. The future's nice. The future's peaceful. Respect borders, share information, spread harmony across the stars. Oh, I'm bored. The future's boring. This is really, I'm bored. After the initial buzz of exploring space, I found Stellaris to be a little bit boring. Because listen, we elected presidents, and then I secured my borders, and the borders were fine, and we had an agreement, and this was my bit of space, that's your bit of space, and everything is fine. And on a personal level, that's great. These kind of peaceful higher beings knowing better and avoiding wars and living out happily in a universe where conflict doesn't need to exist. But this is a video game, and I need my circles to get bigger. Because in the world of video games, what are borders made for if not war? For sci-fi to thrive, you need one of two things: dramatic conflict or grey zone frissons. Exploring the outer limits, navigating the unknown. I mean, imagine if every episode of Star Trek The Next Generation had gone, "Captain, I'm getting strange reading from the Delta Quadrant." Oh, hang on. No, it's private property. I think we're actually in private property. Put it in reverse! Back a bit. This failing comes down to two factors. First of all, Stellaris isn't feature complete. It's deep, it's massive, it's feature heavy, but some areas feel notably light. There isn't enough nuance to keep things interesting if you're basically just trying to be nice. But there's no point dwelling on the game's lack of features, because this is a game made by Paradox, and their games notoriously ship in a kind of unfinished state, but then the support that they get over years and years makes them better. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's the case anyway. I better just check, actually. I'm just going to give Chris Bratters, the strategy king, a call. He knows about this sort of thing.
Yeah, the games have always been a bit like that, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought as much, yeah.
Yeah. Listen, man, I'm just in the middle of something. Can I give you a call back?
Of course.
Yeah.
I know you're busy.
Nice one. Okay, all right. I'll see you in a bit.
All right.
Bye.
I'll see you later, Chris. Great talking to you, Chris. Oh, you've gone. He's gone. Such a busy guy. It's just really lovely he made time to talk to us. But look, Stellaris as it is fun for a bit, and then things slow down and you reach your kind of peak and you're bored, and then there's not a lot to do. And that will get better with time, but as it is, that's Stellaris. It's fun, and then that's it. That's the game. Except no, no it isn't. Because there's a second factor here to why I need to do this, why my circles need to get bigger, the human one. The same one that's made us the top dog of the planet, and the same one that will probably see us destroy it. The unending strive towards more is what we do. Because what is your role within Stellaris? What's your job? You're effectively doing science fiction admin, and that's okay. This slightly obtuse interface that you've got in the game is not intentionally there for that reason, but it makes it feel alien, provides this alien touch that makes you feel like you're really in the future somehow. And when your job in the game is all about expanding and pushing out and getting the most of everything, then as a human, you are perfect for this job. But when that shifts and now it's about status quo, peace, just keeping everything nice and nice for everybody, maybe you're not quite right for this role. I've seen quite a few people say that their peaceful attempts to play Stellaris ended with them sort of just logging out. And that's perfect. You know, as a human, there's only so much we can do before the drums of the human spirit start knocking out a beat that's gonna fuck it all up. The late and great Ian M. Banks invented a future where the dominant peaceful empire, mostly peaceful anyway, was entirely run by sentient AI. It's like robots are better for these jobs than humans are. And when you have a video game that's supposed to simulate it, maybe it's just we can't do it. We twiddle our fingers, we get bored. Oh, I've destroyed a planet. Oh, I've fired nukes. Sorry, I just got bored. Even in Civilization, the peaceful win conditions always revolve around you being the best. It's like, yeah, we're not going to war, but I'm the best. Hey, did you know that I'm in space? Yeah, I'm very cultured now. I'm in space. Yeah, you're not in space. And so just before I walked away from Stellaris, having had an okay time, but feeling a little underwhelmed, I thought I'd start a new game as a different type of human. There were two to choose from, and I went for the bad kind, the racist, horrible, domineering space empire kind. And my word, when you decide to start playing Stellaris as a full-on bastard, the game shines and shines and shines. Because yeah, crucially, Stellaris is admin. It's an extensive spreadsheet exploded into a vast array of planets and stars packed with flavour and colour, but still just a spreadsheet. And that's fine, because when you're managing a spreadsheet of an evil empire destroying everything, it's quite a fun job. So you guys seem weak, but I don't envy your borders, whereas you guys, yeah, you can serve as vassals to my ongoing empire. The slave colonies over there are doing very, very well. I might actually build some colony ships from those slave colonies and then ship over more slaves over here to this planet, because there are some people here but they're not great workers, so I'm thinking I'll just purge the planet of all life, bit of genocide, and then I can just move my slave empire across over to... Whoa. Just, could you just leave for a minute? Yeah. Listen, sorry to be Captain Boring Trousers here, but I'm not 100% comfortable about him just openly enjoying slavery and genocide. I think we need to kind of talk about this a bit. You see, I was entirely comfortable and happy being evil in Stellaris, up until quite recently, where a piece of journalism by Chris Bratt of Eurogamer, moonlighting of course from his main role as the strategy king, talked about a particular mod. To cut a long story short, a white supremacist made a mod for Stellaris which removed black people from the game. Paradox quite rightly went, oh no, removed it from the official mod area, and then people kind of kicked up a fuss. The community said, but hang on a minute, you've got mods where you can just have African people or just have Asian people, what's wrong with this? Paradox went, we don't really want to talk about this, and stepped away from the whole thing and said, oh, it wasn't really the mod, it was more some of the conversations around the mod, etc, etc. All of this is entirely reasonable, and from the perspective of business trying to maintain a sense of community with a long-term, very vocal fan base, I get it. At the same time though, when asked what the deal was with this white supremacist making a mod, they came out of it a little bit fuzzy. And this basically not great reaction to racism infringing its way into their world left me feeling a little bit weird about playing the game. Left me feeling like I couldn't enjoy Stellaris in the way that I had done previously. But Matt, that is dumb. You're talking about something that has no relevance to you, no connection to what you're doing in your game and you're playing. You're letting that pollute your experience of the game? It's an optional mod. You don't need to go near it. You don't need to install it. You don't need to even think about the fact that it exists. Why are you letting that ruin your experience of the game? And this isn't just a question that you might be sitting and asking yourself. It's a question I've been asking myself for about 2 or 3 weeks. And I think I've finally got a decent answer. So video games with difficult or contentious themes are effectively an exercise in trust between the creators and the players. And the reason this is a relationship of trust is because it's an interactive medium. You're going along for the ride, but you're also being given the reins. You're also being made complicit in what's going on. And that means you have to put some trust in the people who've made this piece of work, that they're going to guide you down a path which isn't going to make you feel uncomfortable to the point where it's just not cool. But this method of making people feel uncomfortable and taking them on a ride that kind of challenges them, don't get me wrong, that is one of the most exciting things about the entire medium. But when that trust between the two parties is breached or just mishandled, what originally starts out as being an uncomfortable but fundamentally interesting experience can often turn into something tasteless. This relationship of trust between developers and players is a vital thing, but modders and the reactions to mods add an interesting new dimension to this. I don't like to talk about consumer stuff because it's boring, but you can't have your cake and eat it. When mods play such a big part in the continued commercial success of these games, it no longer feels appropriate to treat them as being an external factor, to just be like, oh, well, it's nothing to do with us. It is, and you know it is. In the past, of course, you'd make a game, you'd ship it. If modders do stuff to it, it's not really your responsibility. Should Paradox be responsible for this? Well, no. But in order to ensure that fans out there know what their universe is supposed to be and what they stand for, they could do with being a lot better at vocalizing their feelings towards things like this. Because it isn't about policing these things and going out of your way to stop these modifications from ever existing. You can't, you know? Racists gonna racist. Because the problem is, if you're gonna have a game which includes genocide and slavery and all this heavy stuff, then I enter into a social contract with you playing this game under the assumption that you've given this loads of thought, that you've thought about exactly where you draw the lines, exactly what's okay, exactly what's not. And then when you're put into a position where somebody's done something and everyone looks at you, if you don't have an iron cast, solid as a rock response to how you feel about that, then I feel that my judgment to be okay with doing this stuff in your game was maybe a judgment made in error. It's like having a really good friend who said a couple of things offhand that seem in poor taste, but you give them the benefit of the doubt. You know they're a good person, it's probably just a misreading or they're being ironic. But then you kind of pin them down on it and say, well, actually, you know, how do you really feel about this? And they're like, well, you know, I don't really want to talk about this. And it's just like, what? Anyway, it's a complicated issue without any clear answers, but in terms of relationships between developers and publishers and modders, the question of where the power lies and where the responsibility lies is an interesting one. And for developers who are reliant on mods as part of their commercial business, it's something that people are going to have to start addressing a little bit more head on. That's why this video was really strange and long and convoluted. And yeah, it's really good. Just wanted to say that. Just wanted to come back to the spaceship bit and say it's really, really, really good. It's a great game. I mean, I appreciate the need to kind of have this dialogue, but it kind of derailed me for a while there. It's really good. Thank you so much for watching this slightly strange and convoluted video. Hopefully those of you who know me a little will appreciate that I kind of got to a point where I needed to say these things, and if I didn't, then there was no point and there would have been no video and no video. It's like you don't get any pudding because you didn't finish your mains. You finish your mains, you can have your puddings or you can go to sleep, you can do what you like. Thanks for watching, and remember, loads of other stuff at coolghost.net, and if you love what we do, we are supported by crowdfunding, so you can go to patreon.com/coolghosts. Have a nice space day in space.